Hi everyone, today we're spending the day in Poole. Our first activity in Poole is a boat trip. We are walking along the waterfront to find City Cruises ticket office for our boat trip. The tickets have been pre-booked online and shortly after joining the queue, boarding started. We were all very excited for this 1-hour boat tour around Poole Harbour and surrounding coastlines. Some parts of live commentary on board has been recorded and included in this video. The boat trip starts with safety procedures, then proceeds to a brief introduction of Poole Harbour and continues as we pass by iconic and historic landmarks visible from the boat. Included in this tour, we will be able to see Brownsea Island, an island managed by National Trust, accessible by ferry from Poole Quay. Although the island is open to the public, the castle isn't. We will also be able to view the Sandbanks, Millionaires Row, a prestigious area due to its high-cost properties and affluent residents, including celebrities. Luxury residences with private jetties, featuring high levels of security characterized by modern architecture. Most of the boat tour has been captured in this video with its original commentary. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe. Other activities enjoyed in Poole can be viewed in the video link given in the description below.
Right, okay, good morning ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome aboard Island Sea. Just our intention for a few moments like your brief safety announcement. In the unlikely event of an emergency occurring, you hear a series of 7 or more short blasts followed by 1 long blast on the ship's board. This will be followed by announcement on the PA system. All I ask is remain seated, remain calm, just follow instructions given to you by myself or the ship's crew. We do have all the emergency equipment on board. On the upper deck above the saloon roof, we have 2 self-inflating life rafts. We've also got 2 float-free life rafts, life jackets. These can be found on the upper deck and lower deck underneath the vent seats. We have sufficient firefighting appliances and first aid at all major points. These are to use in emergency, with all emergency exits are clearly marked. As a precaution, life jackets will be issued. And just for your convenience, toilets are located on the lower deck at the entrance to the lounge area. And the bar is now open for teas, coffees, light refreshments, snacks, and alcoholic beverages. Just remember the vessel can move and roll without warning. Feel free to walk around, just walk around carefully. And please, when using the stairways, use the handrails provided. Thank you. Right, okay, we're just going to enter the shipping channel now on our little harbour cruise. I'm Don, I'm your skipper today. Downstairs in the lounge area is Georgia. If you have any questions, any queries, any problems, feel free to talk to Georgia downstairs in the lounge area. As we do go through the harbour, once we're about halfway down, I will start to point out things of interest, and then for the duration of the cruise I will continue to point out things of interest. In the meantime, for a short while, I'm going to leave you alone in peace. Just to get yourself sorted, thank you. Just come out the right hand side, we've got a straight looking vessel anchored up. See a few holes on the right hand side of us. This used to be the chain ferry between Sandbanks and Shell Bay. This is chain ferry number 3. Chain ferry in service, which I'll tell you all about when we get down that way, is chain ferry number 4. So this chain ferry now is owned by the Othniel Oyster Company. It's now the warehouse and processing plant for all the shellfish in the harbour. They come and size, grade, unpack and send off from this platform here. All parts of the world, all the shellfish, that's the oysters, mussels, cockles and clams, to places like China and Japan, as well as every corner of the UK. They actually produce around about 400 tonne of oysters, as well as all the other shellfish as well. So now we got the Brownsea Island on the right hand side of us. It's the north side of Brownsea Island. Brownsea Island is the largest of the 5 islands in Poole Harbour. Owned by the National Trust since 1962. Most of the island is open to the public and includes areas of woodlands together with cliff-top views across the harbour. and the Isle of Purbeck. Access to the island is by public ferry. There's a wharf and a dock just near the main castle, which we will see in about 5 minutes. The island's 1.5 miles long, 3/4 of a mile wide, and consists of over 500 acres of woodlands, heathlands and salt marsh. The northern end of the island is a nature reserve. This is managed by the Dorset Wildlife Trust. Brownsea Island is one of very few places where the rare red squirrel survives. Fortunately, the grey squirrel can't swim the 1.25 miles to join his cousin. There's a small, ornamental population of peacocks. There's a large population of Japanese cicadea, which was introduced to Brownsea Island in 1896. Brownsea Island was home to BBC's Autumn Watch in 2008. It was described by Bill Oddie as one of the best places for seeing wildlife in Dorset. And there's a whopping 11 varieties of bats that live on Brownsea Island. Moments we will be turning right, so we go down the east side of Brownsea Island. On the right hand side just there, that's Brownsea Lagoon. Up to the mid-1800s, the lagoon was known as St Andrew's Bay. There was no sea wall as we see today. It was one large bay covering 100 acres of tidal seawater. The then owner of Brownsea, a man called William Waugh, he decided to reclaim the area to try to use it for grazing for livestock. He built the stout wall, we see. Filled the bay up with 100 barges of clay. He also built the wimpum on the wall we're just passing there. This still works very, very well. This is used to pump out all the salt water. So the water inside the lagoon now is just a sort of a saline fresh water. The project failed for what he wanted, however. The lagoon now is a habitat of national and international importance for a variety of birds, which use the site for nesting, feeding and roosting throughout the year, as well as the hundreds of varieties of local and visiting birds. Migrants from Africa breed on artificial islands, specially built by the Dorset Wildlife Trust. in just about a part of the entrance now, or the start of Brownsea Island. Over the top, that's Brownsea Castle. We'll have a great view of the castle in just a few moments. Brownsea Castle was originally built in the mid-1500s by Henry VIII, part of his network of coastal defences to protect us from the French and Spanish invasions. With Poole Harbour having a very narrow entrance on our left-hand side, any vessels coming through the entrance was instantly met by Brownsea Island. Henry VIII recognised this. He recognised the island's strategic importance of guarding this very narrow entrance. And as a deterrent to invasion forces from Europe, the island was fortified in 1547 by means of a blockhouse. This later became known as Brownsea Castle. Unfortunately, the castle is not open to the public now. It's a country house, owned by the National Trust, and leased out to the John Lewis Partnership. It's now just used for holidays by staff of John Lewis and Waitrose. As well as the castle itself, which has 30 guest bedrooms, John Lewis also leases 17 acres of land, just to use as his back garden. Now, probably all aware we are on the Harbour cruise today, and this Harbour cruise normally turns right now, goes down the harbour around the back of the islands. I'm not used to this boat. We come down there a little bit quicker than usual, apparently. So I'm going to run you outside the harbour for 5 minutes. Got 5 minutes to spare. I'm going to run you outside the harbour, show you a few quick points of interest. We'll come back in and then continue the cruise from this point. Just going to come down a bit too quick, that's all. Poole Harbour is the largest natural harbour in Europe and the second largest natural harbour in the world. And our harbour is just in front of us, 300 metres across between Sandbanks and Shell Bay. The big red on the Sandbanks side now, this will be on our left hand side in a few moments. This is called the Brownsea Bay. It's the Sandbanks of Shell Bay check ferry. She drags herself along the harbour entrance on large chains. These chains then hold her down onto the seabed, and that means ships, yachts, and motorboats navigating in and out of the harbour station. The ferry carries full passengers, trucks, vans and lorries. There's also a scheduled bus service going from Bournemouth straight through to Swanage. The same a round journey of about 20 miles. They can replace the chain for 18 months at a cost, and about 24,000 £. Harry rocks. Old Harry rocks are a typical creation of coastal erosion, which leave blocks of chalk known as stacks, standing independently at the pier. The waves attack the weak joints of the rocks to form arches and caves, which eventually collapse. Leave these isolated stacks. The tall slender stack at the end of Handfast Point, that's old Harry himself. Old Harry is a tall, lighthouse-shaped rock named after a local famous pirate called Harry Payne. Harry used to stand on the cliffs holding and waving a white lantern, trying to invite the French and Spanish ships onto the rocks in the early 15th century. He had a plump wife that stood next to him. She was as tall as him, so she fell into the sea during a French war in 1896. Bay's where we find the famous Needles Lighthouse. That's located on the western tip of the Isle of Wight. That's about 14 miles from where we are now. And keep on the right hand side, slightly ahead of them, we look at Bournemouth. We can quite easily see the pier off Bournemouth seafront. Bournemouth is quite a new seaside town. It's only about 200 years old. Back in 18, a man named George Gervis decided to create it as a seaside town. This was the birth of Bournemouth as we all know today. Bournemouth is the second busiest seaside attraction in the UK. The beach itself has recently been voted one of the best beaches in the UK.
So we're here at the lower deck, and this is the open waters, and this is a bit rough, so we're all a bit dizzy right now. It's all very crazy. We're just sitting, Ashika got scared, and we're here and there. Just looking at the Harbour Harbour.
Okay, we're just going to enter back into the harbour now. Once we pass the slip on the right hand side of the swim, we're meandering across in front of Millionaires Road. The average price of property on the front is £8 million. Now the fourth house along, big white house with greeny windows. Got a spiral stairway going up the left hand side, and you will see it once we pass the slipway. Well, back in 1965, there was a bungalow on that plot. The bungalow was bought by John Lennon. John Lennon paid £25,000 for the bungalow. He gave it to his Aunt Mimi, because Aunt Mimi looked after him as a young lad. This is his way of thanking her. Our bungalow was redeveloped what we see today just a few years ago for £7.7 million. And if you walk on the pavement at the front, you will see the name plaque on the house. It's called Imagine after John's song. And if you Google John Lennon and Sandbanks, you'll see pictures of John Lennon and Aunt Mimi walking off the chamber. The big red brick Tudor style old-fashioned look out to the left bit. Up to a few years ago, that was football manager Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp paid 11 million about 7 years ago. He then sold it a few years ago for just 8 million. He did grab himself a bargain just around the corner, which he only paid £3 million. However, he did move again just a few months ago. He's just gone to Canter Eclipse, walking distance in his golf club. So the average price of property just on the front here is £8 million. The majority are just holiday homes. We do have this cluster of trees just on the right hand side of us. Inside the cluster of trees is a gorgeous old cottage just tucked away. You see it at the moment. Well, best place in the harbour really looks right up through the harbour. It overlooks Brownsea in front of us, the Purbeck Hills on the left hand side and the harbour entrance behind. That property just sold for £13.5 million. The new owner, Tom, self-made multi-millionaire, he only moved in about 4.5 weeks ago. First job he got was to repair the sea defences around this property, which he's doing at the moment. He reckons it's going to cost him nearly £1 million. It's 13.5 million. Brownsea Island. The first island we can see on Brownsea Island is Thursday Island, which I'll tell you all about Thursday when we get there in about 8 or 9 minutes now. Now the stretch of water between those two islands, that stretch of water is known as Blood Island. Back in the early 15th century there's a man called Harry Payne, a pirate and privateer, who today is celebrated locally by the naming of Old Harry Rocks just outside the harbour. Harry used to sail to France and Spain, looting towns as good before him. They grew tired of his antics. So France sent a fleet to attack Poole. They didn't find Harry, but they completely ransacked Poole. Local knowledge records that one particular battle resulted in the channel between Brownsea and Thursday Island running red with blood. That channel became known as Blood Alley. This was thought to be no more than local legend until recently. Clam fishermen become hundreds of muscle balls. A Brownsea Island featured as Whispering Island in the 500 Mystery to Solve. Now the area up in front of us is quite a long way up to the left-hand side of us as well. That's the whole of the Gato Peninsula. Just going into view, that's the Gato Point. That creek cottage you see there, the one with the green roof, that's Pier Cottage. It's a holiday home at the tip of the Gato Peninsula, which up until 1937 was reached by a tramway system from Corfe. You get there now through the Redstone Forest on a semi-unmade road. That cottage is rented out for up to £1,000 a week. It sleeps 10 people. All of the proceeds are given to cancer charities. You know this because they rent the land out to the oil companies and the pennies, they sort of give back. We are now in the most southern part of our journey from Poole so sadly, it's time to start heading back. We are still going rather back into Green Island. Green Island is the longest inhabited island in Poole Harbour, dating as far back as 400 BC, and during Roman times, the island was used as a prison. About 200 BC, during the late Iron Age, there was a settlement in the fields just coming up on the left-hand side. This is known as the Harbour Peninsula. People lived in round houses, farmed the fields and worked at pottery. At the same time, there was a jetty on our side linking Green Island to the Harbour Peninsula. Green Island was featured on Time Team in 2003. They found a furnace on a considerable amount of pottery fragments, mostly timber and shale. They also found many burial stones. But Green Island is mentioned in the Doomsday Book. The field on the left-hand side is now used as a campsite for sea cadets. It's geared up to accommodate 2 large groups. We often see him driving about the harbour in his boat, and up on Poole Quay getting supplies. His boat's name is Harry Pay, named after the local famous pirate called Harry Pay, who once lived on the island. Also on the island there's 3 holiday chalets. These are rented out to the public for the summer months only. Now looking slightly to the right hand side of Round Island, blending in the background is Long Island, one of the jewels that was owned by its previous owners. The public was allowed to land on the island, roam around, do as they please. You too can follow his footsteps. Come on an adventure to Brownsea. The campsite and hostel are open to all recognised youth and educational groups. They do sailing, canoeing, archery, orienteering, conservation work, and more. The outdoor centre has a 24-bed hostel with full shower, WC facilities, and camping equipment for hire. Cubs, Scouts, brownies and girl guides come to the island, year after year from all over the world, to visit the memorial stone that was placed there to represent this amazing achievement in history of Ronald Baden-Powell in 1907. And when he came from Poole, he landed on the pier just on the right hand side now, Pottery Pier, the most western tip of Brownsea Island. There's a boat anchored up around this way as well, the shelter from the winds. Large expanse of water on the left hand side now. This is known as Ball's Lake. It is just a small part of the pool with shellfish beds. Called Ball's Lake because back in the 1800s ships left Poole Quay. They went to their battles with France and Spain. As they turned left to go through the harbour, the right hand side of the ships were facing out this way. They fired their cannons, just testing for distances and sights. So as the farmers farm the shellfish, as we see the larger ones yesterday now, farm the shellfish. As they farm in, they regularly put up cannonballs, which they have put for us all to see on display in the Poole Museum. So about half a metre deep just in there. Large ship I'm front, is it, called Condor, that's the Condor Islander. It's only just come up a few weeks ago from New Zealand. It's been purchased and by the islanders of the Channel Islands and given the Condor to run for them because their service isn't very good. 100 islands, and mainly she's going to be a freight service only. However, she's going to do a refit at the moment to the accommodation upstairs. quite a lot of timber just on the side. The Poole imports quite a lot of goods. We import a lot of timber from Latvia, so it's just come in, hasn't had time to put it away yet. And steel comes from Germany, bricks and blocks from Rotterdam and Ireland, and road shipping from Ireland to build our roads. Main export is ball clay. Ball clay is quarried in the Purbeck Hills. Reputed to be the strongest in the world for pottery. The majority ends up in the Wedgwood studios up the northeast coast for Wedgwood potteries. We do take quite a lot out by ship as well though. One ship a week goes out different countries, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and they take about 4,000 tonnes of it when they take it out by ship, and it does take 4 or 5 days to fill up the ship with about 4,000 tonnes. Right, okay ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now making our approaches for birthday on Poole Town Quay. I do hope you enjoy your cruises today. With the commentary and the services of the crew, maybe just a little bit more enjoyable for you. Let's ask your driver, remain seated. Or you try to brace yourselves on the rails. Just as you come alongside and we are secure. We will let you know when we're ready for this embarking. Please remember when leaving the vessel to take all your personal possessions with you, and for those of you with small children. These are your personal possessions. Please take them with you. If any kind-natured gentleman like to show appreciation to the crew for the commentary and service on board, maybe take this opportunity to say thank you. Captain's hat. Inform a tip representing any given is completely voluntary. We thank you very much. On behalf of City Cruising Poole and the crew of Bournemouth, we wish you safe and pleasant on the journey. Thank you.